We sit down, we watch an episode, the first episode of the season, and discuss it with each other.
Oh wow, Robyn. Straight from the Talk Back episode. Could she look more miserable? That face deserves its own title, the Thanks, Christine. From the look on her face, it finally seems to hit her. She's officially the villain in the eyes of the fans, and all the shady stuff she's pulled. Totally exposed. Meanwhile, Kody's sitting there like he still hasn't gotten the memo. Oblivious as ever. Honestly, it's like he's on uppers and she's on downers. The energy mismatch is almost impressive. But really, why the long face, Robyn? She's got the mansion. She's got Kody all to herself. She drives the special truck no one else is allowed to touch. Her shopping game is strong. Her jewelry's new, and best of all, no more Christine. Should be paradise, right? Yet she still looks like she's trapped in emotional purgatory. Maybe because she is? Let's be real. Kody worships the ground she walks on, and she seems to barely tolerate his presence. Now that he's getting older, crankier, and more red-pilled by the minute, he's morphing into an even more unbearable version of himself. And while the other wives have pieced out and found freedom, Robyn's stuck with the narcissist barnacle. Poetic justice, really. They played the game, they got their prize. And Robyn, yeah, she seems like such a fun hang. No spark, no joy, just endless dramatic sighs. I'd be shocked if she has a single girlfriend who voluntarily texts her back. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Robyn claimed it took her years to forgive the teenage kids for not reacting with enough enthusiasm when she announced she was pregnant with Solomon. Yes, years. These were teenagers who had just been uprooted, moved to Vegas, watched their family dynamic shift, and were likely still figuring out which way was up. But sure, let's make their completely normal, underwhelmed response to another baby the emotional hill to die on. And the timing? Suspiciously close to when Family Friday mysteriously vanished. Could it be that Robyn decided she no longer wanted to be around the big, messy, blended family once the honeymoon glow wore off and the spotlight dimmed? Perhaps Kody just followed her lead and started drifting from the OGs. If you ask me, that hurt Robyn keeps referring to was the beginning of the unraveling. But it doesn't stop there. Robyn is still waiting on an apology from Janelle's sons over the coronavirus confrontation. Because while it takes years to forgive children for not throwing a surprise party over your pregnancy, apparently it's just fine for adult kids to get the permanent cold shoulder for having the audacity to challenge the rules. Forgiveness, it seems, is on a sliding scale, heavily weighted by how much they smile at her. And now she's spouting lines like getting together would be scary. Oh please. Sounds like the same playbook she used post-Solomon. Feel hurt, retreat, take everyone else down with her. It's all starting to look like a pattern, create distance, then cry victim when the emotional gap becomes a canyon. Let's be honest. The teen's reaction to her pregnancy wasn't rude. It was typical. They didn't yell, didn't insult her. They just didn't throw confetti. And for that, she spent an entire episode, getting paid no less, pouting about how hard it was to feel rejected. Girl, teenagers are allowed to have feelings. The real victims in that scenario. The kids whose leaves were flipped upside down, who watched their dad slowly stop showing up. And let's not forget the infamous photoshopped family pic, where Christine's kids were magically erased and Robyn's were inserted like they were never not part of the narrative. Robyn insists Kody is the one who wants an apology from the boys. Right, because that lets her play victim without having to own the manipulative undertones. Maybe it's time the boys asked her for an apology for that picture and everything it represents. That wasn't teenage emotion. That was a calculated choice. At the end of the day, Robyn and Kody are more alike than they'd ever admit. He just says the quiet part out loud, while she frames it as wounded martyrdom. Look back, more like a reality check. So the Look Back episode tried to gently remind us of what we all already knew. Christine was the best sister wife. Spoiler alert? Maybe, but it's a recap of Season 1, people. If that's a spoiler, welcome to 2010. Anyway, in true Kody fashion, he spent the whole retrospective hammering the same tired line. That he stopped loving Christine because she was a terrible sister wife, specifically to Robyn. A bold claim. Bold and completely dismantled by the editors, who, bless them, included both of Robyn's pregnancy announcements. And guess who was the first to leap up, hug her, and cry actual tears of joy? Christine. Genuinely happy, genuinely supportive, genuinely a class act. Christine wasn't just a good sister wife. She was the best. There's video proof. Kody, delusional. Like clinically, end of story. Period. Also, let's clear up a massive misconception. Christine, Janelle, and Meri didn't leave the family. Kody and Robyn did. They emotionally, mentally, and physically withdrew. Withheld love. Isolated themselves. Ghosted the whole plural family vibe. Meanwhile, Christine, Janelle, the 13 kids, their partners, and grandkids, still very much a family. A real one. The kind that actually shows up for each other. So maybe someone should flip the narrative and recognize who truly walked away. Now, was Christine perfect? No, no one is. But did she try? Absolutely. Robyn says she tried, but where's the footage? The receipts? Because what we saw was Christine earnestly apologizing to Robyn in an old clip, while Robyn sat there like an ice sculpture, snarky, dismissive, and emotionally unavailable. Relationships are hard, but Robyn has been playing the poor me card so long she should get it laminated. She wants everyone to believe she was the only one trying. But the reality couldn't be further from that tear-streaked tale. What really came through in the look back was how Kody just went dark, and the partner he chose to do it with, the one who amplifies every bitter, petty, isolating instinct he has. He used to love each wife for what they brought out in him, his better qualities. And when they stopped fitting his narrative, he dropped them like expired coupons. The only thing Robyn brings out in him now is tunnel-visioned loyalty to her and only her. At this point, it's less about love and more about a total break from reality. Honestly, if Kody isn't abusing testosterone or something, maybe he should book an MRI. The personality shift is that extreme. People evolve, yes, but most don't try to completely erase their family history out of spite. Especially not when the whole thing is on tape. In the beginning, Meri was the OG, Janelle was the breadwinner. Christine was the full-time, hands-on, 24/7 mom, not just to her kids, but to all the kids. Then came Robyn, the young, pretty damsel with Kody's favorite parenting demographic, toddlerhood, and a fresh sob story. Once Christine wasn't doing the hands-on mom work, Kody's love evaporated. Same for Janelle when she got financially independent. Same for Meri when someone younger and shinier came along. But hey, sure, Christine was the problem. Sure. Kody's ego really did him in. His grand miscalculation, believing that because he didn't value Christine, no one else would either. I keep thinking about that conversation on Coyote Pass between Kody and Gabe. Gabe was trying to explain how important Christine was to the kids because, well, she raised them. Kody, totally baffled, responded like that was ancient history, like the emotional bond evaporated once the kids could pour their own cereal. He just didn't get it. At all. And of course he didn't, because in Kody's world, Christine had no worth. So when she left, he expected the whole family to follow his lead and cast her aside. But instead, Janelle and the older kids made it crystal clear. Christine wasn't just someone they used to know, she was their person. They wanted her to stay in their leaves. And what did Kody do as the self-proclaimed head of the family? He didn't try to bring everyone together. He gave them an ultimatum. And guess what? They chose Christine, much to his surprise, and even more to his rage. Now he spiraled into this bitter, angry shell of a man, ranting about loyalty as if he ever inspired it. Why would anyone want to be around that? And this isn't new behavior. Kody's been refusing to see the obvious for years. Remember how the wives always mentioned their homes were more fun when Kody wasn't there? The secret snacks, the special games, joy actually existed in his absence. Then there was that infamous road trip. A whole family caravan, and not one person, not one, wanted to ride in Kody's car. He was the Lone Ranger in a sea of minivans, stewing in his own confusion. Did it ever cross his mind to reflect on why no one wanted to be in the car with him? Of course not. That would require self-awareness. He thought he had these deep connections with all of his kids, but really he was just doing the bare minimum. He expected total loyalty and reverence in return, but didn't bother doing the actual parenting work to earn it. And that's where Christine and Janelle come in. After years of being subtly pitted against each other and watching Kody invest almost exclusively in his relationship with Robyn, they had a shift. When Janelle saw how her own kids were being treated, in the same dismissive, transactional way Christine's had been, she finally saw Christine through a new lens. And with that realization, something healing began to take shape between them. Together, they created a safe, validating space for their children, a place that didn't revolve around Kody's rules, anger, or control. It wasn't Christine or Janelle turning the kids against him. It was Kody doing that all on his own. The truth is, Kody never understood his kids' emotional needs. He never really saw Christine for the rock she was in their lives. And now, all he's left with is a mess of his own making, bewildered that no one wants to sit in his car. What really happened to the Friday night dinners? Robyn's Oscar-worthy, painfully awkward performance during the look back where she said, "I was so mad the Friday night family dinners stopped was something. But let's be real, the reason they gave, completely ridiculous. Apparently, the kids were teenagers and just too busy on Friday and Saturday nights. Okay, sure, that's normal teenage behavior. But you're telling me the solution was to just cancel dinners altogether? Come on." They could have adjusted, maybe told the kids, "Hey, swing by for dinner then bounce," or moved it earlier, or switched to Sunday nights. You know, solutions. I mean, when I was a teenager, plenty of my friends had to skip a Saturday night hang because of family stuff. No one mocked them. We got it. That's just how it goes. Here's what I think really happened. Robyn and Kody wanted him parked at her house for the weekend so he could play full-time dad to her kids. So either they scrapped the dinners entirely, or they suddenly had to be hosted at Robyn's place. And of course, if the other wives didn't fall in line with that plan, they were suddenly labeled as not being inclusive or not welcoming to her and her kids. Classic move. Honestly, this whole thing bugs me more than it should. Probably because of Robyn's flat, cue card level acting during that flashback. I was so mad, delivered with the same emotion as someone reading shampoo ingredients. Someone get this woman an acting coach. What really seals it? The kids themselves. They talked on camera about how they didn't understand why their dad stopped showing up. Not one of them said, "Oh, we were teenagers, so we didn't want to be around him." In fact, Maddie mentioned missing daddy-daughter dates. Hunter, Gabe, Garrison, Gwen, and Isabel all said they used to spend more time with Kody and missed it. Those aren't the words of teens ditching family time. That's a group of kids wondering why their dad bailed. So no, even if Robyn suddenly took up method acting, I still wouldn't buy it. Because I've seen enough to know she's not being honest. And let's be honest, if family dinners were as sacred as they claim, why didn't they adjust? Change the day, change the meal, Sunday breakfast, anyone? Or just let whoever could make it show up. Not perfect attendance. That's life. But no, it wasn't about logistics. It was about control. Robyn didn't want them anymore, and, surprise, she got her way. The excuse that the older kids weren't home is just that, an excuse. There were still plenty of younger kids who would have been there every week, but they shut it down, and now Robyn gets to pretend it was all everyone else's fault. Robyn has one foot out the door, and probably a U-Haul parked around the corner. Okay, rant incoming. Apologies in advance. If you're not in the mood for a novella about Sobin the Snake, feel free to scroll past. After watching last week's talkback episode, I'm more convinced than ever. Robyn's halfway out the door already, just waiting for the right moment to ditch Kody and cash in on the mess she orchestrated. And no, I'm not mad for Kody's sake. Let's be honest, he's got karma with his name on it. I'm furious for the other wives, who were left in the dust while Robyn slithered her way to the top. I see people argue that Robyn isn't the manipulative mastermind some make her out to be. But after everything we've seen, I'm calling it, she absolutely is. The long con she pulled off is honestly impressive. If you ignore the fact that it was morally bankrupt and emotionally devastating for everyone else involved. Let's skip the early season's recap. Most of us know that part by heart, but still, the signs were all there. The wedding dress secrecy, step 1 in hiding things from the sister wives. The pre-marriage kissing, those cozy weekend stays with Kody before the wedding, and of course, the now infamous 11-day honeymoon while Christine was home with a newborn. Robyn knew exactly what she was doing. She played the helpless, high-maintenance damsel in distress to perfection, and set herself up as the one who always needed more from Kody. More time, more money, more everything. Then came the legal marriage. Meri and Kody's relationship was crumbling, and in waltzed Robyn with her big ask. For Meri, it probably felt like a last-ditch effort to stay in Kody's good graces. Robyn spun it as a harmless legal move that wouldn't change anything. Spoiler, it changed everything. The other wives weren't fooled, especially Janelle. But what could they do? Meri went along with it in a desperate bid to prove her loyalty, and suddenly, Robyn had the golden ticket. A legal claim to all of Kody's assets, aka the entire family's assets. Next on the checklist, get everyone to move. The Vegas cul-de-sac was too cozy, too equal. So Robyn sold Kody on a fresh start in Flagstaff, conveniently a place where the only feasible housing option was to build from scratch on land with impossible CC and Rs. Translation? The family's money sat idle, everyone ended up in temporary rentals, and Robyn positioned herself as the victim again. But oops, her rental standards were mysteriously impossible to meet. She had no choice but to buy, only problem, she didn't have the money. So naturally, she dipped into Janelle&Meri's home sale profits to fund the McMansion of her dreams. And surprise, their names somehow didn't make it onto the deed. Pure coincidence, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Kody basically moved in full time. Why hang out in modest rentals with the other wives when he could bask in Robyn's mountain estate fantasy? Her plan had worked. She had the house, the man for now, and the money. And don't forget, her name is now on every single parcel of Coyote Pass land. Meaning, when she finally drops Kody like yesterday's trash, she's legally entitled to about half of everything, including the house Janelle&Meri unknowingly helped buy. Oh, and she's been quietly stashing art and family heirlooms in her home, making sure whatever cash is left can't easily be claimed by the others. Robyn has taken everything. Every cent, every asset, and every ounce of emotional energy from this family. She convinced Kody to isolate himself from his other wives and kids, and now she's sitting on her throne of lies, ready to bail the moment it suits her. And judging by her icy demeanor on that talk-back couch, that moment is just about here. Robyn is absolute garbage, and the worst part? The women who worked and sacrificed for years are the ones left broken, while she walks away with the spoils without ever having lifted a finger. Looks like the bloom's off the rose for Mykelti and Kody. Mykelti finally shared the real story behind the ATV accident, confirming that Dayton was with Kody not his biological father. Which honestly makes sense, since it was Hunter who had to physically hold Dayton's face together until help arrived. Charming family moment, right? And then, get this, Robyn had the audacity to expect her ex to cover half of Dayton's medical bills. From an accident that happened on Kody's watch. Classy. Meanwhile, Mykelti spent Christmas with her siblings in North Carolina instead of with Kody and Robyn. Can't imagine why. I happened to rewatch that season 14 episode yesterday. Kody and Janelle visiting Maddie in North Carolina right before she gave birth. Kody was melting down about how tough it was for him because the kids had moved so far from home. He meant Flagstaff. You know, the place Maddie has never actually lived, and he was going on and on about how it would make Christmas so hard because everyone is now so spread out. This is the same man who doesn't even like Christmas, remember? Yet there he was, whining about the holiday while his daughter was in labor. Perfect timing. Oh, and let's not forget, this all came shortly after he and Robyn used Janelle's money to buy their house. They justified it as the family gathering place. The real concern? That Janelle might actually expect to be reimbursed if the house wasn't used for holidays, like, say, Christmas. So yeah, good for Mykelti for spending time with the family members who don't require blind loyalty as a condition of love. It's heartbreaking to watch how easily Kody continues to emotionally wound his kids without a second thought. Sociopathic much? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.